What's up, everybody? Welcome back to West Coast Pop Cast. It's your boys, the movie guys, the TV guys, Hollywood Zach, and the final boss Knock. We're covering episode 2 promises of Marvel's hit show Secret Invasion. There's a lot to discuss here. We're 2 episodes in. These were the first 2 episodes shown at the premiere a few weeks back. So now after this, we're gonna get really into the season. There's only six
Yes.
episodes, which I was reminded by Zach. But thank you all for joining in. Thanks. Leave some comments. Let us know what you guys think about the whole episode. We're gonna touch a lot of stuff, some Easter eggs. Zach has a whole lot for you, man. How you doing this week?
I'm good. The show I want to expect more than it's giving me, but I'm fine with everything it's giving me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I completely understand that. Right now, I was telling Zach, the show has my attention. It is a slow build. I just hope we get to a nice crescendo. If you
Yes.
guys are new to this channel, if you're new to these video series review episodes, we're going to talk about this stuff. We're going to get some Easter eggs. And at the end, we'll have our score out of 5. So let us know what you guys think out of 5. Hit the like button. Help us out the algorithm if you enjoy our content. And we'll keep these coming out every week. But Zach, let's kick it to you if you want to kick us off.
All right, we're gonna kick it off. I'm gonna get this slide up here, but just so you know, we got some news and rumors at the end of the episode, so stick around for that. We have actual Marvel news and mostly Sony Marvel news. So we'll get your thoughts on that, on stuff coming out and what happened last week. But let's kick it off with the episode here. Let me just get my slide up. There it is. We start off with a recap of
Yes.
Captain Marvel. We go all the way back to 1995. We see Nick Fury, Brie Larson. We see the Skrulls and their whole rundown, what happened in Captain Marvel, and then we get all the way brought back. Honestly, I gotta say this rundown of Captain Marvel is better than the movie as a whole. But anyways,
It was a good highlight reel.
it was. I'll take it. Then we go to 1997, just 2 years later, after Carol Danvers leaves. Nick Fury is promising the Skrulls a new home. He gets it. He gets it. There's significance with the art on the walls, and with where they are filming or where this takes place, with people being oppressed. So if you want to look into that, I forgot to write down the name of the place, but it makes sense with the Skrulls and what they're going through, becoming part of our culture, and it kind of makes sense with some other stuff that Nick Fury talked about here. But we do get some representing of people that we're going to find out later on that they make more of an impact in Secret Invasion, the TV show. We get someone right here who will come into play at the end of the episode, or so we think.
Yeah.
And what would you think of the recruitment speech here? That was almost the opposite of the movie They Live, but it had a lot of parallels to They Live. Knock, what do you think of the opening?
I thought it was a solid opening and finally gave us like a little more credit to why like Gravik is so pissed, and we have this split between the scrolls. And we also got to see some stuff for like Nick Fury eventually gets he's gone for 5 years. So if
Yeah.
this is the plan, he was sticking through this in secrecy. Being gone for 5 years, and then when you come back, you're not really there. That sets a lot of people off, man. Your boss leaves for 5 years. Who knows who's gonna stick around?
Yeah, pizza party ain't gonna solve that. Noob, how are you doing? We're doing well. How are you liking
Hey,
Secret Invasion? Thank you for joining the stream. Everyone, thank you for joining. If you're watching not live, leave comments. We do answer everything. But then we go
yes,
to the original AI created content. They kept this in. Some people were thinking they were going to take it out when they rolled the Marvel sequence after the Captain Marvel stuff. I thought that they were going to not do this. But what are your thoughts on this being kept in there? And did you read any more about the AI stuff?
I haven't read too much more about it. The only thing I did see was so pretty much the people that got credited. Someone I don't know if you did you do a comparison where we seen there was like 6 people that got credited as opposed to usually people might be like 100 or so people that might be on here would really get credited for something like that. And then as opposed
Yeah.
to real artistry, just like kind of just pushing buttons. So I think they should replace it. It is eerie. It's getting whatever they're trying to get across. They're getting it across. But I think I don't know. AI is a tricky subject right now.
Yeah, Noob Says by far the worst intro ever. I don't think it's the best looking, but honestly, I get what it's going for, and I honestly feel like a lot of what it's supposed to do is supposed to be like you can't trust anyone, and that's AI, and you don't
Yeah,
know if it's, but whatever, whatever. An artist could have thought of something cooler, and I think even a very brief kind of like something better could have been done for it.
I think so too, man.
All right, Mr. All Power, we miss you too. Let us know if you're watching Secret Invasion. Oh, oh man, it's a fun show, and let's get into the crux of it here. We go on a train. This isn't the bullet train, but Nick Fury is talking with Talos, and it's a game of tell me something I don't know about you that he
Yep.
played. He brought this up again, talking about his grandpa. and what was in his lunch bag back in, I think it was Winter Soldier. So he's doing it again, talking about when he was younger. And Talos tells him, because he's been away for so long, what you just said, the boss who's promised them more than a pizza party, a place to live, dang
Yeah.
it. Uh, he bounced for so many years that, you know what? He said, screw it. Everyone, come on. There are a million scrolls on Earth.
Yeah. This was a really good scene for me because, like you said, the million scrolls on Earth. If anyone who reads the comics are familiar with it, that is a huge thing. You have a million different people that could just be anybody. That is scary. That sets the scale of the show and what could happen. And it also it showed me because in the first episode I was telling Zach, I don't feel like this is Nick Fury. He feels like a shell of himself. He's like a
Yeah.
ghost. He's not there. He got snapped and he lost all control. So now he doesn't really. He's not locked in. When he started telling
Yeah.
this story and trying to get this information out of Talos, I felt like, oh, Nick Fury's back. We're getting the pieces of him coming back now.
Yeah, slow build into that, and we'll dig more to that when Rhodey comes in the picture. But
Yes.
you saw him be very like cool at the end of that Spider-Man bit where he was up in space because someone took his shoes and he was like, on that phony beach. So it's like a weird like when we last saw him, he was cool being up there and I guess away for a while. But when he's back, I guess you do get that that sense that you're back in the thick of things as Nick Fury. So
Yeah.
all right, and he is back in the thick of things because Maria Hill's mother is here
Okay.
talking about how much BS that she's been fed by agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the government, and everyone else. She wants to know how her daughter died. This, I do believe, is enough effort put into the production where Maria Hill is dead. She did not shapeshift. They have her mother coming on. They have her casket in here. She was, Colby Smulders was credited as guest starring in this episode, so maybe she did just sit in the coffin away down. I don't know what her involvement was in this episode, but I do believe she is dead.
Yeah, I do too. And when it happened in the first episode, I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe we'll see like some flashbacks with her, or like maybe it's not true. Maybe she's actually still alive. After seeing this second episode, seeing her mother, I'm on the side where I think they did Maria Hill a disservice. They did her huge discredit. If you go know anything about her origins in the comics, her whole reason for joining Shield, going on this path, was because of how abusive her father was. Her mother wasn't in the picture. There was so much stuff that led to her character development. I know they didn't really touch on that with Maria Hill here, but it could have been
Yeah.
cool to see that, see some type of involvement with her. Because I don't think we've got any standalones with her in the MCU. And
Okay, we
you go ahead, you got it.
I was going to say, Mr. Fast and Furious, justice for Han this shit because sorry, I just
Yes,
watched this one.
yes, sir.
I just want to say this though. They did justice to Maria Hill's character in the sense of the MCU, but her comic is so much better. I really hope she gets something, a standalone series. I know they're pushing everything back. Even Echoes got pushed back, but
Yeah,
man, they could do so much with her. She really liked being in there. And if they just do one kind of a prequel series where it time jumps, I think we could get a full on what we got even more so from Black Widow.
that's what I'm saying. Like we got Black Widow died. We got her movie. We got Loki his show. We got
Hmm.
Vision back, even though he got bodied twice in the same movie. I mean, let's get some justice from Maria Hill here because she actually is a good creature. Like her mother in the show said, she believed in Nick Fury. That was Nick Fury's number two. I know in MC we have Agent Coulson right there. They're neck and neck with Maria Hill, but she was the person. She was like the director. She was everything.
Since the first Avengers movie, she's been in here. She's been in Age of Ultron. She's been in all these other things. She's been Blip. She's been a part of everything. So I want to say she's had a good run, but also I need that. I need that one series
You
because she is
just
that good.
a little more, a little more. We getting samples here and there, man. Just give me the full course.
Right, exactly. All right. Next up here, let me just make sure I got the right one. Yeah. All right. Emil Clark. She is being led around by Gravik and going into the secret meeting that she cannot be a part of. The walls, if you look at a velvet green, there's a lot of green and purple lighting in the backgrounds of this episode as well. I'm going to touch on that one more time. The themes are playing out here, so pay attention to what colors people are
Yes,
wearing.
that's smart.
But she's not allowed in to this room where Gravik
The
has the
council meeting.
yes, the Council of Skrulls. It seems like it's almost a throwaway until we finally get a reveal that even pays off in the next scene as well. But they vote him to be in charge of everything. I'm very surprised they let the one woman go who made a phone call later. But it just shows how confident Gravik is, and the scale with Shooter McGavin and a couple other people here in on it. All politicians, and if you paid attention, I haven't read the full Secret Invasion yet, but people in the comics like Barack Obama, Joe, or was it no, it was someone else, and like Stephen Colbert, they were all Skrulls as well. So people in power have
Mm,
Skrulls tips
okay.
into the comic.
So a few things touching here from me. Like you said, how they let the lady go. I thought for the next scene they would have killed her right off.
Yep.
I'm glad they didn't, even though I think she still might die in the next episode. I'm glad they didn't because a lot of the typicalness with the villains is like, oh, we're killing anybody, we kill anybody. It shows Gravik actually he hasn't lost it completely. He really trying to do this for his family. He has he
Yep.
has some redeeming qualities. He's trying to
So
do
we
it for his
talked
people.
about, yeah, well, that's it right there. He's trying to do it for his people, and his people got screwed over big time by Nick
Yeah.
Fury and Captain Marvel, just leaving them high and dry. Do you side more with Gravik on this? Because now after the explanation, after the beginning of this episode, I don't feel he's totally in the wrong.
I don't either. I can't side with him because he's trying to nuke the planet, the planet we live
Yeah,
on.
that's
I can't side with him. He's still doing some crazy stuff.
that's true.
But I get him because like how they talked about in the beginning of the episode, he he was smart. He escaped the Kree like on his
Yeah,
own as a child. So he got developed. He was doing all this stuff, and it just makes sense to how his origin is and his character. They're writing his character very well. And he's being acted very well as well. And the other thing
yeah,
what they said, I think it was the lady that walked out. She was talking about we were in this position because we weren't willing to no we were more than willing to start wars as opposed to being peaceful. So now we're seeing, even though in Captain Marvel the Kree were painted as the bad guys and the Skrull were painted as the good guys, it was a little more blurry than how they stated.
yeah. All right, as we get going here, we have Don Cheadle. Don
Oh,
Cheadle showing up to Congress, making jokes about how he's just going to carpet bomb the place if I forgot which country it was, gives him
it's
a
a
hard time even
Slovakia.
more. It's Slovakia. Right off the bat after this episode, do you trust Don Cheadle is Rhodey? Do you think
See,
it's Rhodey or do you
I
think
think
it's
we're
a
on the
Skrull?
same page here, Zach. I think we're on the same page. This dude's a super Skrull, man. This is Don Skrull out here. There's no way this is Rhodey. Like that whole interaction with Samuel L. Jackson with Nick Fury, it was unbelievable. I know in the past, the reason I'm like 50-50 on it a little bit is because Rhodey's always been by the book. He's kind of like what's her name in Wakanda? What's my girl's name? Denai Guerrera. Uh, the main soldier, the main Dora Milaje.
Yes.
It's all about the rules, about the country. You follow its precise, and he's been like that with Civil War, signing the Sokovia Accords. He's been like that with Iron Man in the first few. So it makes sense why he's trying to do things by the book. But I felt like this wasn't accurate to how he was, so he feels more Skrull like.
Okay. I have your thing from last episode where you're talking about the long term memory. He didn't say
Yes,
anything that alluded way to the past. I'm kind of on board with what you're saying right now.
yes. And if he didn't say anything allude to the past, unless he was in that pod, which we didn't see him in there, I think I don't know where he is, but I think he's a Skrull. This one particular.
Okay. Yeah, and this is another thing too. This one particular, people online are saying, well, okay, well, if Rhodey or anybody that we know in the MCU is a Skrull, everything that we know of that character was BS, and it just throws away all that. It doesn't mean that. It means this one in the show is the
Exactly.
Skrull.
That's the other thing. Like, it doesn't mean the entire thing's BS. We don't know when the change had happened. So there's a lot of stuff that could have been him, or this could have happened recently.
Yeah.
We don't know about what's his name? My guy who was in Wakanda, or Ross. He was a
Hmm.
Skrull too. We don't know how long he was a Skrull either.
Right. All right. So keep that in mind. We're gonna watch more Rhodey coming up here as we talk about this. But Emil Clark,
Yes.
a little bit of screen time, but also worth it. She was a
Yes.
little like iffy about the whole meeting with Gravik and the council. So she goes and she snoops. She checks out the computers. I don't know exactly what this was on the screen with Lincoln Campbell.
Okay. So I'm reading this now, and I'm pretty sure that sounds very familiar to a character that was in Agents of Shield. I
Okay.
could be wrong. Let me know in the chat anyone, but I think that was a character in Agents of Shield.
Okay. And before we get into the next one, because that's going to be the big discussion point, people are saying that Fitz is someone that's going to be coming back. I don't think he can come
Ooh.
back, but that's what people are saying online.
I don't remember how Agents of Shield ended, but that would be amazing if they started connecting that in. Because I mean, you're dealing with Nick Fury. We know Coulson's out there somewhere. I would love to see that be their way to bring him in.
I love that. I love that at the end of the episode, just the surviving ones, or wasn't there one of the agents with powers that could come back as well?
Who? What's her name? Her first name was Sky. Her real name was something else. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be
All right.
really cool. And like I said, I told Zach, we need someone to be able to fight off Super Skrull. We can't just have Nick Fury shooting guns at him.
Right. Especially if he's going to be a super scroll. We have the four pieces together. One of them I do have cropped off. I apologize. Is the extremist version of
Yes.
the virus that is brought to us from Iron Man 3. We have Groot, who can grow and stretch out. We have the Frost Beast that was introduced and let loose on planet Earth in Thor: The Dark World, and Cull Obsidian, whose powers are going to be very strong. These are all things that Emil Clark is looking at and wondering what the hell is going on. But these are all things that are found on Earth. You have Planet X, where Groot is from, and all these other places. All of them coincide with the other movies. And it says where they were found, all of them on Earth. Oh my gosh, what could they equate to? They're building super scrolls. And look at this, not the Fantastic Four ones that we're used to, which we'll touch on in a second here. But instead of the Fantastic Four powers, you have the extremists, which would be Johnny Storm's powers of heat. You have Obsidian's, which is going to be the Thing's powers, obviously, which you can see there that Wong cut his arm off in Infinity War. You have Groot, who, again, in Infinity War, they could have picked up parts on Earth of Groot, who would be Mr. Fantastic's powers. And then the Frost Beast, which you can see at the very end of in the end credits scene in Thor: The Dark World. If you remember that, he's in that parking lot and he's like jumping up trying to chase birds. So that's a little comedic point. So all these parts of the MCU that people were thinking were untouched and were just like loose ends that were never touched up upon again are now coming back. So I kind of like this. So let me just get to your opinion, Knock. Fantastic Four may, if lucky, which I don't think it will come out in 2025. I don't think it's coming out till 2026 or maybe even 2027. Are you okay with this being the super Skrull that they make out of this?
I'm iffy because you take like a whole bunch of these random characters. It's kind of cool because it's the MCU lore. But we tell me Super Skrull is made up of the Fantastic Four. I mean, like, come on, dog. That's so cool.
Right.
So for this TV, if this is like the first version of it, and maybe we'll get another version later, I'm cool with it. But for me, this can't be the only version. The one thing that has me tripping out in here, so you have Extremis. I think that was what 2013. Iron Man came out. Dark World was like 2012. How do you get Groot on Earth? This must have been happening during the battles with Infinity War or Endgame. Yeah. And I think the major battle he had was in Wakanda. So that's telling
Which they're
me
not allowed into.
exactly. So that's telling me. So the Skrulls might have got into Wakanda. Like who is this one person? This is a whole lot of people. Their reach is really far.
And they've been watching over everything too. So
Yeah.
again, is it Nick Fury again? But it's like you said, the time period is so vast. It's not just one battle. It's not the Infinity War battle that they just scraped all this stuff from. It's all these loose ends throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, like you said, they could be anywhere. We got a million of them on the planet, and yeah, I do agree too that a payoff in at least Fantastic Four 2 would have to be their Super Skrull counterpart facing off against them. Mr. Alport let us know that Super Skrull is an Avengers villain. Yes, I do believe that. I was doing like a lot of research yesterday. Okay. I think I was up like way too long looking at this, but yeah, Mr. Alport, that is true. Not close your eyes if you don't want to look at this.
I see this picture earlier. I'm trying to find a thumbnail. Yeah.
So they gave this away.
Yeah. So I guess that proves it's not going to be one Super Skrull. It's going to be a few of them, and Gravik's going to lead the charge.
Yeah. Since they did give it away, any thoughts on if there's anything bigger that they could produce, or did they just make an oopsie?
I think this is it. I don't think you can go any bigger than this, or I don't think there are. So we'll see. I mean, episode 3, I feel like it's going to be like a mid-season, like pretty big action scene. It's looking like it was building towards.
True. Yeah, so that's the Super Skrull. We'll see what we get in there. All right, this is, I think, my favorite part of the whole episode here. Don Cheadle, Sam Jackson having a very good back and forth. If this is a Skrull or not, I really, really enjoyed Don Cheadle's assessment about what people in power should do. It should be for everyone, as opposed to Sam Jackson's, which is making a good point. But it was a very good back and forth dialogue, which I appreciate. It didn't seem forced. It was just a nice dialogue about power and the struggle, which relates even more so to Secret Invasion. So I was very happy with this.
Yeah, this scene only works, I think, because of these two. They've been talking these past few weeks about really wanting to work together, and they finally got the opportunity to. I'm glad they got a one-on-one scene, even though Don Cheadle was pissing me off with this bad. Nick Fury, like, come on, you got to help the guy out. but it was a really good scene. Very, very
It
well done.
was. I like this line too. I'm Nick Fury. When I'm out, I'm in. I knew
Yeah,
he was going to say that at the end, but man, I popped
exactly.
for
Like
it.
I said, this wasn't like the dialogue wasn't anything crazy. It's just the way he delivered it, his presence. There was a whole lot of good stuff going to your acting was.
Yep. Mr. Alpar says he wants Daisy from Agents of Shield to appear. And that's one that I figured was going to come in. And Ghost Rider, that'd be cool. We met Luna. He's a really cool guy and really liked that role.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And what do you want to see return in the MCU? Uh, I just want to see good cohesiveness. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I think we need someone to establish and like rise up and be the person to lead the charge. We had Iron Man for so long, Captain America, and a few people stepped up to carry the torch and help him carry it. But like we had that centerpiece. We're still looking for our centerpiece right now. I think.
Yeah. I There's another possible thing I got with when we come up with some news and rumors at the end here, but Olivia Colman again, very little on screen time, made the most of it. This is the one thing I remember the most of this whole episode. Again, wearing the colors of the Skrulls, but
Oh
obviously doesn't seem to be
God,
a Skrull.
dang. You're killing me. Yeah, I don't know. If she turned out to be a squirrel, I'll be in shock. But no, it wouldn't make sense. I loved everything about this scene. Like she establishes power with a phone call, passes the little mob boss the phone. She teases like so she says, where's the escape hatch? Just in case. She's already
Yeah,
planning things out ahead of time. She's so on her game. Like I could see why her and Nick Fury like, go back and forth. Like she's on point right now. She's locked in.
she is. She's so good. I don't know if that brooch is anything, but it kind of looks like it just reminds me of something I don't know what in the Marvel
I feel you.
Cinematic
I'm getting some
Universe.
vibes here.
Okay, but I like this as well too. She's just so cool, calm, and collected. The guy being tortured is just like, put it in my arm. I'll just cut it off or whatever. She's like, all right, I'll
Yeah.
put it in your butt. Cut that off.
Like Nick Fury said, she's a scorched earth person. She's gonna get you any way she can. And that freaking vial, that was insane. To burn your blood. Oh my gosh.
My nitpick on the scene was instead of him just turning red and just almost like seeming like an extremist kind of
Oh yeah, yeah.
extreme. I wish it would have been more morphine and unmorphine into a scroll and back. I think that would have been a nicer touch.
That would have been a touch because like it takes the like what's his name? Talos said in Captain Marvel, it takes like a technique, a talent to do the shape shifting thing. So if he's losing his blood's boiling, I feel like he would lose that focus. So that'd been a nice
Yeah.
touch, like you said.
All right, I want to point this out really quick here. Emil Clark's character, she goes and she spies because that's what she does. She's working all the sides here. She sees who's the other guy there, the one that is kind of working the angles here, and he was the person who recruited the guy getting tortured.
So again, I could have sworn I knew you were gonna talk about him. I don't know his name, but I remember him being a little bit important. I can't think of his name though.
Okay, I can't either. But anyways, no name spy over here
Yeah.
is heard talking about how Gallic isn't all that he's cracked up to be to the scientist over here. So Emil Clark hears that. She sees it. She picks up on it. She sees all the Super Skrull stuff going on. Then after they get the hostage back from Olivia Colman after she escapes, who is out on the side making the call in Russian to tell about their whereabouts? It is Emil Clark, who again, I'm sorry, I forgot her character name, but she's
Gaia, I
Gaia.
think.
Yes, Gaia sets this up because now it looks like the guy who was tortured spoke and he spilled the beans, and now the Russians and
Yep.
whoever is coming, and he is now looking like a sellout and someone who can't be trusted. And now it's like he can't be trusted, so now it's causing a rift between guy over here who's up on the top right here and Gallic. So it's like it's causing a rift in between the power struggle of the Skrulls. And if you notice in the beginning, the bishop turns into a queen, which turns into a king, and it's all in the
Wow.
green chess pieces, which are Skrulls. So she
Wow.
is the one moving up the ladder.
I don't know how you caught that, man. That's insane.
I, I'm like lasered in on details on this time.
Yeah, you guys heard it here first, man. Get the Easter eggs right here from Zach, man. He's got the basket full.
My thoughts on that, but that's what it is. Let me know what you think about what game is she playing. But I
Yeah,
do believe
I
that's what's
don't
up.
know, man. She's like a triple, quadruple agent. Like at the last episode, I thought maybe like she got fed wrong information. Now it's clear that she told them the wrong information, but she's still kind of playing that fence.
Yes.
So I don't
So
know, man. Amelia Clark's doing very great though.
She is. I do believe this must boil over in between, like you called next week's the mid-season finale kind of thing, or the episode after that, and then we need
Yeah.
like the big payoff at the end. But of course, she seems a little uncomfortable here as the guy has to kill his own person, and yeah, it's kind of going to plan, but she's still playing it cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, she. I think because she's been living under these circumstances for so long, she knows like any little tell, any little slip up, Graphic will notice, and like he's clearly ruthless.
Hmm. Really quick, you want to see Giancarlo Esposito in the MCU? Well, he is rumored as a Professor Xavier, so we'll see.
It's crazy because I've seen those rumors too. Now that you brought him up, thank you, Mr. All Power, for jumping in. He could either play Professor X or Magneto.
I just because I'm a huge fan of the X-Men arcade game, I want to see a little bit more of an agile, spry Magneto than we have with Ian McKellen, who did a great job. I want to see
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
battle ready.
I agree.
We'll have to go to IMDb to find out who's playing Gravik, but he's doing so well.
Yeah, I don't. He looks familiar, but I don't think I've seen him before.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this. Is the ending right here? Nick Fury goes home. Someone is cooking up a nice meal in a very nice chef's kitchen. Nick Fury comes in. There's some other art on the wall that shows shape shifting in like art, so you can see that as Nick Fury comes in through the hallway. And then he gets the stink eye because he's not wearing his wedding ring. He puts it on and he gets a kiss. This is his wife. She was a Skrull. What did you make of this scene? A lot of people are wondering, did Nick Fury know that she's a Skrull or not this whole time? Because of how the camera played out, when she's cool, just chilling out at home, she's in her normal shape. But then how it pans when Nick Fury comes in, it looks like he might
Ooh,
not have seen her as a Skrull.
that's a good point. I think he knows. I mean, the way I picture Nick Fury, like he you can't get none past him, and he's been around the scrolls for so long. I feel like he has to know.
Yeah. So the director, I did read online, the director said in the pages, Nick Fury knew.
Okay,
So
okay, yeah. And it's just like I don't know. It was just kind of one shock to see he's married. But now to go ahead and like have him not know about the scrolls, I don't know. I think he has to know she's one.
I agree. And we did find out that he's married in Captain America and the Winter Soldier, when he says,
I
my
thought
wife kicked me out.
I'm glad you brought that up because I watched this recently, and now that I've seen this, I literally thought that was just like spy talk. I thought he was just trying to be under the radar. I didn't know he was serious.
Yeah, I guess it was. And again, another loose end. All the pieces that are making the Super Scroll are loose ends that people had complained about online for years that haven't been touched on. Here's another one. Secret Invasion is kind of picking up these loose end pieces and making something out of it. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's pretty good because I really didn't think anything of that line. Like I thought, oh, just spy talk because people were listening in. That's when he was talking to Captain America,
Yeah.
but I guess he really got kicked out.
Yeah. You're right, Mr. All Power. I forgot we had Michael Fassbender. There's just dialogue heavy, and I forget about those X-Men
Yeah.
movies. But Knock, this whole thing is about who can you trust? Who can you trust? You get that look. The wife gives you the look. You're not wearing your ring. All right, you got me. You got me. All right. But you know what? Who can you trust? She's that gung ho about him wearing a ring. Where's your ring? You see this at the beginning? This is another one I caught.
Wow.
Crazy ring in the beginning, in the opening scene, when she has Gravik's shoulder right there. You can see. Then when she's chopping up that tasty dinner in that nice chef's kitchen, the ring is gone. That is a very like Skrull heavy kind of themed ring that I don't think you just kind of give up. This isn't pawn shop stuff right here. This seems like it's something from the home planet, and now it's not on the exact same hand in the exact same episode.
Okay, so now you got. I think you're onto something. Again, if you want your Easter eggs, come to Zach's basket. We got it all right here in these episodes. But so in the beginning episode, she's the one who brought Gravik in. That was his wife.
That's again, we don't know because she didn't shapeshift. She was one of the only people.
Okay.
Gravik, obviously, because then you don't have to pay another kid to do the part.
Okay.
But she didn't shapeshift. I took note on that and I paid attention because I thought that was going to come back, and here it is. But
Okay.
it's the same voice from what I could tell.
Okay. Now that you're piecing that together, let me piece something else. How true is it that his parents died? Is there any lies on his lineage? Do we can we you know he has a huge grudge against Nick Fury about him lying about something. It seems a little personal.
Maybe this is the mom. Maybe they didn't die. Maybe this is it. The pieces are coming
I
together.
think we're putting some stuff together here.
We got you. We busted you, Marvel. 2 episodes in. But
We'll see how it plays out. But you heard it here first if it does play out that way.
that's right. I think I do have one more yet. That is it. All right, that is it. That's all I have for the slide. So let us know in the comments what you thought of the episode. Knock overall, what did you think of this episode?
Well, I thought it was just like a nice episode, solid. I thought it was slow build, but it still has my attention. I'm still caught up in the whole Secret Invasion hype. So right
Hmm.
now, I thought it was cool. But now that you brought this other stuff in, it's added more to it because like it's really adding the little details, setting a table. I'm about to have my feast very soon. It's still warming up, still marinating. I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 5. Wasn't
Okay.
terrible, wasn't bad, solid stuff, good acting. And it looks like we get more action next week, so I'm hyped for next episode.
I appreciate that too. I'm going to give it a 3.2 out of 5 just because I do appreciate all these loose ends from the Marvel Universe that they're
Yeah,
putting together. I have a big question about Secret Invasion in general that I'll ask episode 6. So just be with us for that.
stick with us.
But I appreciate the slow build. I don't know why I just want something faster, but I don't think this is the show for that. So I think that's all on me. But I'll go 3.2.
I agree because like I've seen a lot of these shows. Like, what's the example? The Defenders, 6 episodes, slow build, and at the end they kind of rushed it and just never worked. It never clicked. Never had the chemistry. So I just hope that if they're taking their time, they're not going to rush in the end.
Yeah. All right, let us know your thoughts of the episode. If you have anything that you caught that we didn't catch, if you have any more theories on what we talked about, let us know in the comments and let us know your score. Let us know what you thought of the episode. And we got some news and rumors really quick to cap things off, and then we're going to bid you adieu. So, really quickly, if you caught the Venom 3 news that's been out there, on the left is someone who posted this on TikTok. He filmed a scene, Mr. Tom Hardy. It started Venom 3 filming. Title had been rumored to be Along Came a Spider. I don't think that's actually the title. But
Yeah,
he is wearing the same clothes that he wore in the end credits scene in Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then he got zapped back. I don't think this is anything too significant. I do believe this is their way of having a nice back opening to Venom 3 before we get to the story.
man, I'm looking at Tom Hardy right there with the hat, looking grizzled a little bit, and all I see is Wolverine. I see your perfect Wolverine right there, but he's playing Venom.
You want to know what's worse? Here's the rumored plot synopsis for Venom 3. He comes back after learning about Peter Parker, and then he finds his Peter Parker in his universe, but he's a child. So now he becomes this Peter Parker's Uncle Ben, kind of, and they go on an adventure throughout the movie and become friends. That's the rumored plot.
Uh, who's coming up with this? That sounds like a what if that you just threw away. So no, actually, never mind.
Pretty much. All right, that's the Venom talk. Let's go on to the next one here. Anthony Mackie spoke about the Jonathan Majors incident here and says, "We're a country that was built on everyone's innocent until proven guilty. That's one of the staples of this country. Nothing's been proven about this dude. Nothing. So everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That's all I can say. It's crazy where we are as a society, but as a country, everyone is innocent until proven guilty." I think wherever you stand, I think it's a fair assessment to anyone going through anything in the legal system.
Yeah, a fair assessment. We'll see. How it plays out. Marvel's been as quiet as can be about this. Um, if it does turn out he's innocent, I'm glad they didn't make a hasty decision.
Mhm.
If it turns out he is guilty, then obviously he will get replaced. But yeah, just crazy stuff that happened. It was
Yeah.
right when after Creed, Ant-Man, he was on fire for a bit there.
He was. Some other projects went by the wayside because of all this stuff, but we'll see. This is part of the reason, in my opinion, that Kang Dynasty got pushed back, and we'll talk about this episode 6, maybe
Yeah,
turning into something else.
yeah,
So
I can
we'll
see
see.
that's definitely why King Dynasty got pushed back. And hey, I mean, if it turns out he's guilty and people keep people around like that, look at the Flash with Ezra Miller. Look how that turned out.
Oh God, that's a whole nother video.
But people want to
Ah,
blame superhero fatigue. But hey,
yeah. Hey. You can groom a child if you can break the speed force. All right, what is your favorite Marvel TV show, Knock, so far?
Mr. All Power, what's up, man? Thank you for another great question. TV show wise, I was a huge fan of that Loki, man. Loki,
Mm.
Tom Hiddleston, and the girl who played the female Loki, their chemistry was off the charts. I really enjoyed that. Miss Marvels is up there. I love Miss Marvel. It was different. It was really good. I love the family dynamic to it. And then the other one was Hawkeye. Hawkeye was really good.
Hawkeye was very enjoyable.
So I think top one Loki for me.
Okay, I'll go WandaVision just because it was just fun and it's nice
Yeah,
and quick.
WandaVision was
Other
better.
news too. Yeah, other news too. So far, Secret Invasion episode 1. is the second lowest rated viewership next to Ms. Marvel for Disney shows.
Really? How do they
Yeah.
even track viewership on streaming? That's so weird.
I don't know. Netflix just announced that they changed their metrics on it, so everything that was big is like whatever. It's streaming.
Yeah.
Last bit of news I have. Oh, and I got one more. Madam Web photos have come out here with Sydney Sweeney. She is going to be playing this version of Spider Woman, the second one. I don't know which iteration, but this is what she's going to be playing in Madam Web, and this is set in the same universe as Morbius and Venom in the Sony Spider Verse and Craven with a Spider Man supposedly. But this is going to
Really?
be the de facto Spider Man, Spider Woman, Spider Person in Madam Web now. So now I'm very confused on what's going on.
Huh. Yeah, I don't get the entire storyline. I mean, Craven's coming out too. I don't get that whole Sony side of the Marvel stuff.
I don't either. We'll see. I haven't been impressed with some of the set photos that have come out with it, but again, it's all in front of green screen what I'm seeing, so we'll see how that
Yeah.
turns out. And last bit I have here, let's talk about our Colby Smothers. We mentioned earlier in the episode what we want, a good story. We do, and for Murray Hill, but she is going to be in the Marvel, so I don't know
Oh,
where this
really?
takes place time-wise. She's set to be in the Marvel, so we'll see what happens, because as far as I know, from what happened at the end of Ms. Marvel, everything caught up to now, time-wise.
Was she in that like teaser trailer at all?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
But
not really dead.
could be, or again, she can't be the Skrull though. So
She can't. I mean, I thought Coulson was for sure dead, but hey, maybe that's in the Shield like benefits package when you sign up.
yeah. And the rumored end credit scenes. Cover your ears if you don't want to listen. But the rumored end credit scene. I forgot what one of them is, but another one is Kamala Khan going and finding Hawkeye, the young Hawkeye from the TV show, because there's something that needed to be stopped, and then her saying, "Oh, I heard Ant-Man has a daughter too," and
Oh
setting up
wow.
a Young Avengers or a New Avengers.
I wonder how that would look. I mean, I guess you have to go for Ironheart as well.
Yep.
Maybe Black Panther, the
But
new
how far
Shuri.
along are we waiting now? Because Ironheart got delayed almost a year
That's
plus.
true.
The next Black Panther is, if it's going to be his son, that's years away. And with all these
Yeah.
projects being like peppered in now rather than just kind of thrown on Disney Plus, I don't know how this is going to look and if these end credit scenes are actually going to be true or not.
It's tough, man. I that makes me think like T'Challa with Chadwick Boseman. I think he was supposed to be that guy because everything seems so off. I feel like he's supposed to be that one to lead a charge. How Robert Downey Jr. was with Iron Man.
Yeah, I believe too. So that's it. I forgot the other end credit scene. I'll probably hit you up in the chat about it, Knock, if I remember. But that is it. If you have any news rumors, let us know too. And let us know what you thought of the episode. That is it. And we have 4 more episodes to go. These are the dates. So thank you for joining today. And make sure you subscribe, hit that like icon, help us out here, and come back week after week. If you're not watching live, leave comments because we want to know what your thoughts are and who we can trust.
Definitely let us know, man. We really appreciate it. We love doing these. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we can keep this on Wednesdays, but we'll see how our schedules work. Thank you guys for jumping in. Appreciate the comments.